of water, right? Eight measured 1 cup ounces. What is that right? Eight measured cups at 8 ounces each. The 8 and 8, right? Make sure you get that minimum a day. And if you need some holistic juice, check out my nephew, Merrick. I will be posting his information very soon. But for right now, you can hit me up if you want some of his holistic juices and you are in the DFW Metroplex area. So I was getting ready to watch this video um, on this podcast called Hardly Initiated. It is, if you have not watched it, is an amazing podcast. These gentlemen have really stepped up their game, and congratulations to Tysean, who has just gotten married. So happy. It's almost like watching them grow. I'm so proud. Oh my goodness. But anyway, so the topic that they had today is basically talking about health, your body and health. But before we could even get into it, he said something, and I love the way he phrased it, and it's completely in alignment with some of the things that I wanted to discuss and talk about today. And what Tysean said was, not because we don't want to, but because we are equipped. And I was like, wow, not because we don't want to, but because we are life that we have learned, right? And it's challenging for people. A lot of people have a hard time, including myself. I had a hard time. Sometimes I still do, but it's less and less now. But some people have a hard time unlearning things that were implemented in their life and became indoctrinations. So if you listened to me before, you know I've talked about being indoctrinated by force and by choice. By force sometimes can be violent, and sometimes by force can be unintentional. So an example of by force unintentional is the one I want to address, because I don't think I need to explain by force in a violent manner. I don't think I need to explain that. But when we're talking about by force unintentionally, what we're talking about is growing up, and let's say you go to church, right? You are brought up in the church. There's nothing wrong with you being brought up in the church, but this is a belief system that is taught to you without your choice. You don't know any better, right? It would be the same thing if you were brought up doing push-ups, sit-ups, eating healthy, eating, veggies and nothing but veggie, vegan diet and all of this. This is the way you grew up. This is called unintentional force, right? It is a belief that you take on that belongs to someone else. That's why I say indoctrinated, because it's a belief that you're taking on that belongs to someone else, that you have been convinced that this is the way for you. Now, as we grow up and we get older, that dynamic starts to change, right? As we get older, we begin to question. Sometimes in our youth, in the single digits and the double digit teenage years, we begin to question, well, how come we only eat vegetables, for instance? How come we only eat vegetables? How come we don't eat any meat? How come I can't, go outside with my friends? Or how come I can't do these things, right? Because your parents and or guardian has raised you this way. There is something innate that is inside of you that is saying, this is not in alignment with what I want. And although some things are for your good, not all things are meant for you. Just because it was meant for your guardian when you're growing up doesn't mean it was meant for you, if that makes sense. So there is something in you. We call these people rebels. Sometimes we call these people black sheep, right? These are people that go against what the norm should be. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there is something innate that is inside of you that is saying this is not in alignment with what I want. What the person, let's say the guardian, right? The guardian that has implemented this and convinced you of this belief now feels challenged, right? And depending on the level of maturity that this person is at, they will either embrace and say, you know what, I am so proud of you for thinking outside of the box and for questioning and for making your own choices, or they're going to go the complete opposite way, the extreme opposite way, in which they're going to say, you can't think for yourself. This is how it is. It's this way for me, and it's going to be this way for you. Now, this is where the challenge comes in, right here, because this is where somebody is making a decision on your behalf, and you are no longer in alignment with that. You're not feeling it, right? This is where the guardian in your childhood is making the decision for you based off of their own experience and what they feel is best for you. It's once that seed is planted in you, it's kind of hard to undo. When it becomes time to undo it, sometimes there is some guilt that is associated with that. Well, my mama taught me this, and even though I don't agree with it, I mean, mama said it, so it must be right. Well, daddy, showed me how to do it this way, and if I try to do it a different way, it's probably not, it's probably going to hurt his feelings. Maybe grandma showed me this way, or maybe a teacher showed me, and because you have such a respect for the guardians or these people that taught you this way, to undo what they taught you gives you that feeling of guilt. And in that feeling of guilt, sometimes it causes a certain level of paralysis, of where you don't have the desire to let them know, I don't think like you anymore. You start going through in your mind and creating these scenarios of how these people are going to respond. And I know this because I also have done it, and sometimes still do. But you go through these scenarios of how somebody is going to respond to you not agreeing with the indoctrinated belief that they originally convinced you of that is right. And I hope this is making sense to somebody out there, right? Because it makes sense to me. So now you're in this cultivation of self-doubt, because that's what it is. Now you're in this cultivation of self-doubt, right? Am I making the right decision? Does this guardian and or this person know better than me? Is there something that they know better than I don't? What if this person, whatever it is that you are no longer aligned with, let's just say you grew up vegan, right? Eating nothing but vegetables. And I'm just not picking on nobody. I'm just saying, eating nothing but vegetables. And you decide that you want to eat meat. You feel as though, you know what? These people, these guardians are going to have a big upset. They're going to tell you, by eating meat, you're going to poison yourself, and by eating meat, your blood's going to change, your health is not going to be good. If you start eating meat, we may not even talk to you anymore. You may lose a lot of friends and family. And so when you're going through, excuse me, when you're going through and you're thinking about all of these concepts, some people have that thing in them that says, you know what? I don't care what people think. I'm going to try this and do this for myself. I'm going to eat some meat. And when I eat it, if I like it, I'm going to continue to do it. If I eat it and I get sick or I have bad results, then I can come back and say, you know what? You were right. Some things you have to decide for yourself if it's right for you to do. And if you are in and if you are in alignment with yourself, with putting yourself first and not feeling guilty, being unapologetic for your decision making process. Now, when we're talking about this part, right? Because here comes the jump. I'm going to let this person know, I know I grew up this way. And I know you feel it's best for me, but I just want to take a different route and I want your support. You may get that support or you may not get that support. If you get the support, that's great. We don't even have to discuss that. But if you don't get the support, here's what you do. You do it anyway. Whenever you are going through a stage of growth, there is going to be loss. And sometimes the loss is not so great that it feels like a severing. Sometimes that loss is so great and it's so wonderful that it feels like freedom. Oh, it feels like freedom. And if you know what freedom feels like, or if you want to know what freedom feels like, make a decision for yourself and free yourself into being in alignment. Ooh, I like that. When Tysean made the statement, not because we don't want to, but because we are not. No, what he say? It's not because we don't want to, but because we are unequipped. Think about how can you equip yourself to be in alignment. Think about that. What do you need to do to be in alignment? You can do it scared. And guess what? The people that are important to you are going to be there. The people that are going to support you even when they don't understand. There are people that I have supported when I did not understand what the heck they were doing or why they were making the decision, only to come back and say, I'm so glad you didn't listen to me. And I'm so glad you decided to step out and do what you wanted to do. Focus on releasing guilt or releasing indoctrinated beliefs that are no longer serving you, and not feeling bad that the person that taught it to you during the journey that you needed it, that you needed that guidance. It's not personal. It's growth. It's not personal. It's growth. That's all I have for y'all today. I love you. I pray that this message hits you in the right space of maturity. And may the words that I share be a blessing to you and not a hindrance. It's time to move forward and not allow others the opportunity to misalign you or to continue to misalign you. It's up to you to make the choice to align yourself. I love you. Y'all guys, y'all have an awesome and amazing day. If you need help with your alignment, with getting yourself on track, I got you. Go to my website, bookwithtina.com. And I'll see y'all. Love you. Mwah! Bye-bye.